A new report shows that autonomy, structure, and repetition are key to helping young children develop healthy eating habits, especially for our pickiest children. Kids may need to try something, get this, up to 15 times before knowing if they like it or not. Megan Lott joins us today. She is the Deputy Director at Healthy Eating Research. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
This will help so many parents, I think, as all of us have a picky eater or know someone who's a picky eater, and just maybe understanding what it takes to change that. Can we kind of dig a little bit more into this research as to what you found?
Sure. The research really supports that there are three basic principles every parent should know about. So the first is structuring your environment to provide an abundance of healthy choices. The second is to really include children in the process and support their independence and autonomy in making healthy decisions. And the third is repetition. This is the single most effective strategy to getting kids to learn to like and accept healthy new foods.
Repetition. I know parents at home are hearing 15 times you have to say, just try it. How did you come up with that number 15? And what's your recommendation or advice to parents?
Well, this is based on what has been tried in different research studies. And so we have found the most success when there are about 10 to 15 exposures to a new food. And this can happen over weeks. It can happen with different preparations of the item. So for example, with broccoli, if your child doesn't like raw broccoli, you could try it steamed or roasted, which changes the flavor a bit. And each try is one bite. So it might seem overwhelming to hear 10 to 15, but it's actually quite doable when you think about one bite and over a period of several weeks.
Can we talk a little bit as well about healthy eating, picky eaters, and childhood obesity? Did you find some interesting things when we looked into obesity rates?
Well, there is not a correlation between picky eating and obesity. So just because you have a picky eater now doesn't mean your child is necessarily going to be overweight or obese. But we do know that there are correlations between poor dietary patterns, so not eating enough fruits, vegetables, whole grains, having too much salt, sugar, and fat, with overweight and obesity, which can cause lifelong issues with weight and other chronic diseases. So it's really important for proper growth and development to ensure our little ones are getting the recommended food groups and variety and balance within each of those.
Can you expand on that? Because, people might think, well, I have a picky eater, there's nothing I can do. But when you look at it as I have a picky eater and it could affect their growth and development, that does change things.
Yeah, picky eating is really common. Every child goes through phases of picky eating, or what we call food neophobia, where they're afraid of new foods. It's really at its peak in toddlerhood and the early preschool years, so between 3 and 5. But the research really supports that the strategies we recommend can help children persevere through that phase, and really that repeated exposure and structuring the environment to support healthy choices will help them develop healthy habits. It's like most things in parenting, it's about keeping that long view and continuing to provide healthy options, knowing that you're helping to guide them on the right path.
Is there somewhere that parents can go, or some advice you could give them when they try to tackle this again? They're going to we're going to think about it tonight at 6 o'clock, but next week and maybe in 3 weeks as well.
Yeah, we have such a variety of resources available on our website, healthyeatingresearch.org. You'll find tip sheets, videos, really great content on what and how to feed, and really great resources there for families to take a deeper dive into. We have more than 30 strategies, so hopefully you'll find a couple that will work well for you.
Okay. The more options, the better. So I like that. Megan, thank you so much for joining us today. Such a great topic.
Thanks for having me.
Stay with us. Coming up on North Dakota Today, we have your daily dose of motivation.